Hi everyone, I'm the Idea Maker, and today I am going to be giving my sorry belated review, non-spoiler review of Snow White. So, I saw this on the Thursday night showing of March 20th, so it's been a little bit of a while, and I thought, what can I actually say about this? The more that I was giving it some thought, um, the movie's not terrible, as what people were saying, but I do feel like most of the new stuff was a little bit awkward for me. I saw this with my mom. I love the original movie so much, as you guys saw from my review, but this movie, on the other hand, um, it tries to capture what Snow White is. It does for some scenes. I'll admit, I did enjoy a few scenes that were brand new. I enjoyed some of the changes that they made, but I don't think it fit the way that they wanted it to. I think, in my opinion, Snow White did have some great moments, but there are some issues that I had with it. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because it is a non-spoiler review, but I think this is going to be one of the shorter ones because there's not much to talk about in this one, because I would need to get more into depth and detail about it in a spoiler review. So, which is why I am going to be doing a revisited reaction to Snow White when it comes out on Disney Plus. And that's going to be an interesting one because I feel like, personally, I wish that they did some things better. So, what did I think about everyone? First of all, I'm going to head with Snow White. Rachel Zelger, in my opinion, I mean, she sings well. She sings really well. It didn't sound like Snow White to me, but I can kind of understand from a modern point of view where probably some people might not like that operatic side of Snow White, because technically, Snow White to me is an operatic singer, and that's what I feel like from the first one. She's very elegant, very regal, but I do feel like, I'm not sure about how I felt about with Rachel Zelger's performance about it. I mean, she does good in some scenes, but it just, to me, I don't know why. Call me, say that I'm wrong, but I do feel like when she sang for like, especially for Waiting on a Wish, she has like this like look of anger and frustration that it kind of bothered me. It actually bothered me because I felt like if she was forced to sing it, I get it that, from an acting point of view, maybe she was trying to do it to show her frustration, but it was a little bit overacting. Speaking about overacting, I'm gonna get to Gal Gadot in a little bit, and I have no disrespect towards the Gal Gadot, but I just feel like her Evil Queen performance, I just felt like she does good in some scenes, but also at the other times it's overacting. When she does her number of Fairest of Them All, I think that's what the name of the song is. I just feel like, in my opinion, it's weird. Her audio, the audio engineering was weird on it, because I felt like the first half felt like she's saying flat, but the other half she hit the high notes and the long notes really, really well, which is what makes me a little bit concerned about the audio mixing about the songs in this movie. I feel like the Hi Ho and the Silly Song were fantastic. They were fun. I feel like Hi Ho really was fun. It felt like Snow White. Right there, it felt like Snow White. The Silly Song, I wish that they would have continued it more. Unfortunately, I think, wasn't the original one like about 5 to 6 minutes long? Maybe I'm wrong, but they cut it dramatically short, and I thought, I don't like that they cut it that short. It wasn't like I was starting to get into it, but then they cut it short. I'm gonna actually look up how long it was, but I feel like it was long. Almost 5 minutes long. It was 4 minutes and 35 seconds, the original one. When I look at the new one, I'm going to take a look really quick. A minute and 7 seconds? Are you for real? Mm-mm. I feel like the way how they justified Snow White's name, I felt like, okay, I could understand where you're coming from. So I wasn't too bothered by it. Um, but I think I feel like Good Things Grow was fine. I was hoping that it would be a little bit different, but I mean, it kind of felt a little like Greatest Showman, which I did see. I did see it. I mean, it's the same songwriters from The Greatest Showman. A Hand Meets a Hand was fine, but I just wish that they brought in Someday My Prince Will Come, and I wish that they had the Wishing Well song, but they didn't do so. I felt like Whistle While You Work was their best number, easily. It felt like Snow White right there, but I did see the criticism on that. She's singing about Whistle While You Work, but she wasn't really cleaning while she was working. She did, but very little, very little. I didn't like that. I felt like if she was gonna be if she was gonna be a part of this, I think that she should have been more heavily involved. I think Princess Problems felt like a La La Land type of musical number. The way how they're interacting with each other. Watch that scene, and I guarantee you'll be thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is literally La La Land, but with Snow White and this brand new character." Which I was weirdly thinking, like, really? Like, you couldn't have come up with you couldn't have just brought the prince, and it could have done it a little bit differently. This thief character Jonathan, which I was like, this is an interesting choice. I wasn't expecting for them to come up with something this weird. Well, not even weird. It was just interesting how it was done. I think I think the Good Things Grow song was good, but like I said, it felt like Greatest Showman. Princess Proms, I wish that they would have done a little bit better. All Is Fair, which is the song that I was referring to about the Evil Queen. I don't understand why they gave her a Broadway type musical number. It felt weird and it felt overacted. I'm sorry, but I like Gal Gadot and everything, but I just felt like it was a little too overacted. It just didn't fall. It didn't sit right with me. Now, for the Seven Dwarfs, I understand story-wise where they were coming from to why they kind of CGI'd them, but at the same time, I kind of didn't like that they CGI'd them. I wish that they would have been actual people. It would have been actual little people that played them. But the voice actors for the dwarves, I think, did an incredible job. Which it's kind of funny that one of them is actually, and respectfully, a little person, Martin Kleba, which I honestly feel like he did an incredible job at voicing Grumpy, because I think he's definitely Grumpy, and I remember him from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies as Marty. I think was his name Marty. The dude's great for the screen time that he gets, and for the interaction that he gets with the other characters. I think, yep, that's definitely Grumpy, and I do feel like they should have just not had the dwarves CGI. I think it would have been great if they wouldn't have had them as CGI characters. Personally, I would have liked if they weren't CGI. It was weird that our thief character Jonathan had his own band of 7 thieves or 6 thieves as well, which I felt like this was weird. That I was wondering, why did they give him thieves as well? Like, why did they give him a group as well? It just felt weird, like they were trying to even things off with each other. And honestly, I didn't feel the chemistry between Rachel Zelger and actor Andrew Burnap. I just didn't feel it. I felt like the chemistry was forced, and I didn't like the fact that it didn't feel natural. Like the chemistry between Lily James and Richard Marsden. Who was it? I'm sorry, like I'm blanking. Richard Madden. Okay. The chemistry between Lily James and Richard Madden and Cinderella in the live action Cinderella was perfect because they complemented each other. They added more to the prince where they made him into a character that would not best Cinderella, but equal her. Like they were, and like they were equals. They felt like they complemented each other. And they did some changes to Cinderella where it was not a musical, which was very interesting. They had some musical pieces, but it wasn't a musical, but they did it in a way where it fleshed these characters out better and they wrote them as a genuine love story. And that's what I loved about Cinderella. They didn't change anything about the original story. They added to it, but they made it feel like it was a genuine add-on, that it fleshed out their characters more. It gave more of a personal reason for these characters to have these motivations on wanting to go and be bigger and dream bigger. Snow White, on the other hand, in my opinion, fell short. It really fell short for me because I feel like if you're going to rewrite Snow White, I felt like they wrote it in a way where they stripped away what Snow White kind of represents. I feel like Snow White is one of the love princesses. Just like Cinderella is one of the love princesses of the early Disney era. I feel like Snow White represents love, and she represents, wanting to find true love with the prince of her dreams. And I wish that they would have kept that because it just did not feel like Snow White. It felt like a brand new character. I felt like when the movie tried to be like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it did it. It did its job. But when it was trying to be something new, it just didn't feel right. It felt like two different movies. And then with this character, with Jonathan the thief character, I felt like what made it awkward to me was that it just felt like him and his band of merry men, in my opinion, was like a live action Robin Hood. But instead of the animal anthropomorphic characters, you're gonna have human characters, like how the original story goes, like a comedic take on them. Not like Men in Tights type of thing, but just like a comedic Disney type. Which I was like, I wish that they would have just kept that for the Robin Hood live action upcoming movie. Which I don't even know if they're going to be developing anymore after Moana, but if Lilo and Stitch does really well, I think maybe they'll resume the production on Tangled, or at least a development for Tangled, which I would love to see it. I really would love to see Tangled as a live action movie, in my opinion, because Rapunzel's my favorite amongst Belle and Ariel, in my opinion. But I mean, we already saw Beauty and the Beast. To me, I mean, that one, it's good, but I think Emma Watson was not the best choice to play Belle, in my opinion. Like, I just didn't feel I just didn't feel anything from it, in my opinion. Like, Naomi Scott as Jasmine was perfect casting. Same with Lily James as Cinderella. I think that they both did really good in the respective roles that they played. Halle Bailey, I think, did an incredible job as Ariel, because I feel like, she captured the spirit of Ariel. She captured the characteristics of her, and that's what I liked about her. And yeah, they race swapped her, but I do feel like she captured Ariel correctly, and that's what I loved about her. Now, there were other different Disney princesses that we had out there for I think for Mulan. What was her name? What was her name? I'm gonna probably accidentally mispronounce her name. Liu Yifi. I think she was a great Mulan. From the time that I saw it, I really did like her as Mulan. I think she did incredible as Mulan. And I feel like it was what we needed for her character. I definitely need to go rewatch it again. I remember it, but also don't remember it as much as I wish that I remembered. But I definitely am going to watch it again on the channel. But Rachel Zelger, to me, I'm sorry, but she wasn't Snow White. I think that, in my opinion, I don't know why, but her acting felt a little weird at some points. It felt a little awkward at some points. I didn't like um I didn't like the change that they changed the thief for the prince to a thief. It felt a little weird. I think that the Broadway stuff on the Evil Queen was a little weird too. I can understand where some people were saying that it felt like a little bit like a Descendants movie. It kind of did, but I honestly loved the wardrobe that they did and the costume stuff that they did on the Evil Queen. I did like it. There were some CGI moments in Snow White that I felt like it was really good too. Some things that I thought that's a very interesting take that I actually kind of agreed with. Um, the Evil Queen's death in this one was changed, but I honestly feel like the change in this one, I think it was better in my opinion. The Queen's death in scene in this movie was better than the animated ones. I thought it was cooler. I thought it was visualizingly stunning. And it's a weird way of putting it, but when I get to the non-spoiler review, I'll definitely get to why I say that. The songs I wish that they would have done better. The newer ones I wish they would have done better. I know Waiting on a Wish is they're trying to use that to kind of capitalize that a little bit, and they tried to use it as like one of the main singles from the soundtrack album, but to me Whistle While You Work is my favorite out of all the musical numbers. They did some changes that I think a lot of them did not sit well for me. It did not fit, but there are some changes that I feel like it did do well. If I were to rate it, I'm gonna be kind of pretty lenient on it because I'm a Disney person and I grew up on Disney. I would give this like a 5 out of 10. If I wasn't being lenient, I think I would give it like a 3.5 out of 10. But I'm giving it a 5 because I think for what was given, they did the best that they could. I don't really like to think about the controversies so much. And honestly, I don't know much about the controversies. And that's another thing. I've heard different things about the controversies. I try to stay away from finding out what happened. Like, what was the behind the scenes drama that happened that also made a lot of people not like Rachel Zelger for a lot of, from what I heard, for some of her behavior. I really don't know a lot. So if you guys could educate me more. I know that one of you guys did in my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs animated movie reaction. If you guys can tell me more about the controversy that happened, I would definitely want to understand, so that way I can use that context for my upcoming revisited review for Snow White, for the live action one. I would like to get to know more. I think for me, this is a movie that I feel like it's good. If you basically like, it's good, but not great. It's not entirely bad. It's not like this is the worst Disney movie to ever be created, but it doesn't sit well with me. I mean, a friend of mine asked me if you were to strip away the animated movie, like let's say it never existed, would this be a good movie? I would say that it would be. I would say that it would be a little bit higher, like a 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10 probably. Actually, a little more to 7.5 out of 10, being more generous if there wasn't an animated movie that they were following by. I would be okay with it, but I think because that the animated movie was such a classic, and especially because it was the first animated movie, for a full feature-length animated movie to ever be created, I think that's what makes this movie a little bit more disappointing, is because that you're wanting to hopefully see it in live action, and you want to see it be done well, but you're changing it dramatically is a wild thing. Like, they kept the majority of the story, but I think they could have done a little bit better with certain things that I wish that they would have done better, but they didn't. I think it's okay, but I do hope that Disney does use this as a teaching experience on this is what not to do for a live action remake. If you want to do something that's a live action remake and you want it done well, take inspiration from Cinderella, from The Jungle Book, from Dumbo, even though I know people did not like Dumbo, but I thought the live action remake on Dumbo was great. I would say take it from those. Those three in particular were incredible. I even loved Pinocchio, despite a lot of people hating it. I loved Pinocchio, and I loved Peter Pan and Wendy. I actually loved it. But if you want a Disney animated movie to be done right, to be remade into live action, follow the footsteps of mostly Cinderella and the Jungle Book. And I guarantee you people are going to love it more. But to me, I think Snow White, it's not a go-to, like the first thing you go to for a live action remake. It's not a go-to, in my opinion. It's definitely not a go-to. I will watch it if it was something like, oh, let's watch something because, there's nothing else to watch. I feel a little bored type of movie. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but I just felt a little disappointed on the fact that I wish that they would have done a little bit better with it. And I wish they would have done, something to where it was more close to the story and to the animated movie than what we got. I know Lilo and Stitch is going to be a big hit. It looks very, very close to the animated movie, which, like I said, I will be reacting to all 4 of the animated movies. I will be doing so and editing them as soon as I can, and as well as be doing the Mission Impossible movies. So be sure to look out for those. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching my honest, non-spoiler review on Snow White, the 2025 live action adaptation of the animated 1937 classic. If you guys want to see more reactions like this, or more reviews like this, or more videos like this, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, I have Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, aka X, and my Discord and my Discord server. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you all, stay safe, and I will see you all in the next videos. Bye, guys.